people are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Sunday night shit show. How are you, my friend?
As I told you right before the show, technical problems have been haunting me. They're fixed, but hours and hours to figure out I had a bad Ethernet cable.
That is so frustrating. And as I told you, just get rid of the Ethernet cable the way I do. I bet my connection would be, it didn't even occur to me to plug into the Ethernet. I do it all on Wi-Fi, which is so dumb.
You know what's wild? It didn't even occur to me to temporarily solve the problem by turning the Wi-Fi on my desktop because I've always had it hardwired. I was even planning on using my phone as a hotspot.
Oh my God.
That's just stupid.
We get like tunnel vision, right?
Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm all right. You know, it's I'm okay. Just trying one foot in front of the other. That's all we can do with fake it till you make it, all that good stuff. I'm gonna attach this so I don't knock it out. Hearing a lot about everybody's feelings recently, the kinds of people that I think none of us should care about, but we're going to get to all of that. Let's talk about some people we do care about. We got, hello, Annika, how are you? And Truth and Dana, good to see you guys. And Lee, Kimiko, hello. It's going to be terrible if I am repeatedly mispronouncing some of your names, and I apologize. And please correct me if I am. As a lifetime member of the Mispronounced Names Club, I really get it. Hello, Hester, VDA. I will never say your full name again. VDA. Hope, hello. And try a little Mudita. Mudita, hello. David, hello. Yes, it is time to punch up. Hello, Zizu and Kat, hello. And anybody else coming in or quietly watching, we welcome you. We are very happy to be here with all of you today. Let's just get to it. Or unless you have something that you want to like.
Shout out to the local Oakland beer.
Yes, please. Always.
Mortal Wombat instead of Mortal Kombat. It's fighting
Wombat. I like that. Yeah. Wombats. Hi, Daniel. I just, before we really get started, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody else. Okay. All right. Mudita is Sanskrit, appreciating joy of others. Oh, that's beautiful. It's the opposite of Schadenfreude. I love it. I love it. Okay, so as opposed to so many of our cheers, which are tinged with sadness, although this sort of is also because our planet is on fire. And some of the most resourceful people in the world are forced to be that way because of our, looting of their lands. And this is Joseph Nguthiru from Kenya, who is dealing with the plastic bottle situation and plastics in our environment in a very inventive way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the future of packaging. We found a way of making products that look like plastics, feel like plastics, and even perform just like plastics, but they decompose at the end of their lifetime. My name is Joseph Nguthiru, and I am the UN Young Champion of the Earth. We produce this out of water hyacinth, the world's most invasive aquatic weed. It's a weed that grows on top of lakes and waterways in more than 70 countries around the world, mostly in the global south. Blocks fishing, navigation, irrigation, kills fish, and is even a breeding ground for mosquitoes that then cause malaria to the local communities. It reproduces incredibly fast, every 6 to 12 days, and that's why it's so hard to manage. I found out that by extracting the cellulose out of the plant we can make a product that's just as flexible, durable, and performing just like plastics. At my startup, HirePack, we now work together with these affected fishing communities to harvest the water hyacinth for us and dry it, and by doing that they earn money. So far creating over 45 green jobs for them, just as you would break up from a toxic relationship. Let's break up from a toxic relationship with plastics. It is time to let single-use plastics remain single.
Making double entendres in not even your native tongue is pretty impressive to boot, I would say.
Absolutely. There's so much plastic waste, and I'm still in school in theory if I ever finish, but industrial design, I mean, at least the new industrial design era is trying to focus heavily on these green issues.
Right.
But the companies these people go work for, they're just going to bottom line it anyway. So it's not really, it's more like a branding strategy to do something good for the environment once in a while.
I know. It always is. It's always like an offset, like like the carbon neutral just means that you get away with polluting the atmosphere, but you just pay a little bit more, but then you don't pay taxes anyway. So like it's all a wash. And yeah, the marketing aspect of all of this is pretty astounding, truly. The way they tried to make us all feel like it was our individual responsibility and our carbon footprint.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, we're just building up literal islands that could be on the map in the ocean of trash.
Oof, yeah. Yeah. And all of these products that we have, like, oh, your earpods aren't adaptable, or, they don't, not collaborative, they don't work with your new iPhone, which doesn't work with your old charger, which doesn't work with, if you don't have a Mac. It's like all this stuff is meant to just keep consuming and tossing. It's just and
so many products could really be just sort of upgraded. We could have built that model into computers, at least. I mean, yes, you can be savvy enough to replace parts in your computer, but the whole thing could have been built like that from the jump, where we module it and just upgrade it every couple of years.
Yeah, it's all by design. And it is also just another illustration of how little all of these assholes, just monsters, how little they care about the world, other people, their children's world, their grandchildren's world. It is just such a selfish, myopic view. And we're seeing it, in spades all over the place. So kudos to Joseph, young Joseph there. Cheers, my first sip of wine. Maybe I'll bring down the hypertension a little. If I self-medicate. Okay, let's get golly, get that ad.
Invasive commercials.
I know.
We do not support that, especially Coca-Cola.
Absolutely not. All right. Woo, that's a loud one. All right. What do we got?
This is on the good old self-driving food cars. And I pulled this because part of it went viral with friend of the show, William in LA. You'll hear his voice on it.
It's so funny because we both pulled it, and I couldn't remember if that was you or me. I love when we do the same thing. No, I think it's you, but it just cracks me up when we both like come into the studio and we uploaded the same clips. Okay, go ahead.
Huh? Hello, what do you want? What do you want? You want me to press the button for you? You want me to press the button for you, Mingo? Fuck you. Press it yourself. You took a human's job and you want me to press the button for you? No, hello, fuck you. Excuse you? Yeah, excuse you. I'm not pressing nothing. You press it. You sit there, you took a human's job, you take over our infrastructure, and then you want me to help you out? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Press it yourself. Oh, that's right. You don't have fingers. You got the green light, but you can't go because you don't have the walk signal. But you don't walk, you roll. Well, that's too fucking bad. Again, it's a cold war. You can sit here all night. Tell whoever's food that is to come press the button for you. It's not my problem. What the fuck you ever done for me? Mingo's just fucking stuck. It got the green light, but it can't go because it doesn't have the walk signal. Not my problem. Not my problem.
I love that. He's got such a distinctive voice too. Film the Police, William Good. We had him on last year. We should have him back because certainly the problems he tries to bring light to have only grown.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and he's doing great work out there. I mean, he's going viral for talking shit to robots. Appreciate that. But that's not even his shtick. His shtick is the police. He's always fighting. But then he also makes videos all the time at community city councils, tearing down a new asshole. And I love it.
Yeah. He's putting in really, really great work. All right, let's get to it. So Palantir, Alex Karp and Peter Thiel, the gentlemen who do not believe in democracy and who are swiftly overtaking our whole government, put out a manifesto yesterday. A manifesto. Like
it's
we
wild.
all elected them to be in this world.
Yeah, and I mean we'll go over it, of course, but like part of it is a PR move. Like, yes, we got to do some good for the world, and that's what you politicians got to make happen.
Yeah.
But then part of it is like, hey, don't kill us, and you guys need to work for us harder and forgive us and be nice to your actions. And like, what?
I mean, yeah. So we have all the pieces of it. Let's just take a look. So because we get asked a lot, because you're overtaking everything, you have our records on everything. The Technological Republic in brief. And so this is Alex Karp's book, The Technological Republic. Like always selling, always be selling.
Right.
Always be selling. Silicon Valley owes a moral debt to the country that made its rise possible. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley has an affirmative obligation to participate in the defense of the nation. So right off the bat, what a way, first of all, moral debt. Why a moral
and you would think you would follow up the moral debt with because of the jobs that are going to be replaced because of us.
Yeah.
We're going to open with not the plea to have more work for the government and send you money, but that's the first ask in this whole thing, really, basically. Like, but it should be economic. It's like, come on, that's why we hate you. We don't really hate you. Most people, they don't even connect you to the tech stuff. I mean, to the war stuff. Some people do, but the world at large connects you to taking jobs.
Yes. I mean, that's how it was first sold to us. And I do think that more and more people are realizing that they have their fingers in every part of everything in our world that sucks, whether it's ICE, whether it's, listening in on all of our phone conversations, our TVs, our, data mining, like all of that stuff. I think it's very clear that their business model relies on stealing from us and then crushing us. So moral debt, but like moral debt is very specific because what that means is like you've done something that is immoral, but they never fess up to that, right? We have a moral debt is very different from saying, like, remember that diatribe? It's the only good thing that what's her name, Liz Warren, it was probably in like 2014, 2013, and she's like, okay, you're a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, you're a billionaire company, good on you, but you use the roads, your kids go to the schools, you want the fire departments, the clean air, you have taken, you owe everybody. And not just your taxes, like you use the freeways more than we do. Look around you on the freeways. It's all Amazon trucks, right? Like, but each thing they're sucking up, they're using more than they give back. But that's different. As you said initially, like that's financial, which yes, can be moral, but I don't know. It's just a very interesting, and we will not read every single moment of this, just the points. We must rebel against the tyranny of the apps Well, this I do have to go. Is it the iPhone? Is the iPhone our greatest creative, if not crowning achievement as a civilization? The object has changed our lives, but it may also now be limiting and constraining. So in other words, we are going to have brick and mortar stores and possibly new smartphones for everybody to stand in line and buy. Right?
Yeah. Their second point is just capitalism's their way instead of the app. Get off your phone, use your AI. You're just going to talk to your AI for everything. So like rebel against the apps.
But like it, so far, how are they paying back their moral debt? They're just saying like, buy from us. Free email is not enough. Decadence of a culture or civilization, and indeed its ruling class, will be forgiven only if that culture is capable of delivering economic growth and security for the public. They never come back to that, just so we know.
And there's never a tangible suggestion about how the public can ask for these things from them, like, or how they will provide them. It's just like, hey, we got to do some good. Point number 17C in our.
We'll get back. Let's put a pin in that. Put a pin on doing good. Okay, limits of soft power of soaring rhetoric alone have been exposed. I would like to see some of that. We don't have any, there is no rhetoric like that. There is no soft power. China's beating us on soft power. They're actually fine for nefarious reasons, whatever you want to say, but they are not attacking other countries and they are helping other countries. Yes, they extract something from them as well, but they are seen as a net positive by the world. The question is not whether AI weapons will be built. It is who will build them and for what purpose. Well, again, show us who is building these AI weapons. It's us versus China, right? China is not doing a genocide in Gaza, is not using Palestinians as a lab, a trial basis, is not then using that same technology for Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, Iran. So, yeah, I mean, if it's sure.
No, the real question is, do we want AI involved in our defense? That's the question. And the answer is no. It is unethical to have AI involved in our defense.
I mean, it's crazy to me that they skip over any small d democratic input from us. And it's just established that this is what's happening. Okay. Our adversaries will not pause to indulge in theatrical debates. So, mocking anybody who has a reservation about these horrific technologies that they are developing. It's just theatrical. Okay. Let's just, national service should be a universal duty. So where's their moral debt? Not even addressing what they owe us. They are now telling us that we all must put in, and you and I have talked about this. I think a lot of us feel like, yes, there's national service would be a great thing, not fighting in your military, which is all they really want to talk about, but sure, really service to your community.
This whole screen here,
disgusting.
It really feels like, ask not what AI can do for you, but what you can do for AI.
100%. How do you make us richer? How do you pay off our moral debt by making us even richer? Fighting in our wars as part of your national service while we reap the benefits of the, of the tax money that goes to funding all of our development.
And shouldn't if you're going to believe this AI moral debt is defending us, that's how they're paying off their fucking culpability and ruining society. This is against that. So why do more of us have to be in the military if you got it so well here with this AI instead?
Wait, Pat, I'm going to see if this works better for us. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Sorry. I was trying to see you but okay. 100%. Yeah. I mean, this is appalling. Okay. If a U.S. Marine asks for a better rifle, we should build it. And the same goes for software. I mean, listen, I hate all of this, but I absolutely don't think that we should do, we go to war with the weapons we have. And then we were giving, our troops already punctured armor and stuff like that. That's, a horrific way to send your people off as cannon fodder. But like, okay, still moral debt. I don't know. Public servants need not be our priests. Any business that compensated its employees in a way that the federal government compensates public servants would struggle to survive. Okay.
That one's a little wild to me.
Yeah. Like, so what does he say? That we need to pay our military better? And like, I can get behind that. I mean, I wish we didn't even have military. I don't want any of that, but like, I get that part of it.
Well, but the military is public servants. I mean, they're public servants. I don't know. I don't think it's saying that. I think it's saying stop worshiping these good doing people. You should be worshiping us AI people.
Yeah.
It has hater vibes to me.
Well, I think that it actually, the public servant part is probably talking about our politicians, and stop harping on them for insider trading, because those are public servants and they can pay better. I think
they do get into some of that later.
I think that's where they're going with it, because I don't think they really care about the troops. They care about the people who they bribe, right? They want to be able to keep that exchange, that transaction going. So they don't have to be priests. They just have to do what's best for us. And what's best for us is giving Palantir all your money to take over everything. We should show far more grace towards those who have subjected themselves to public life. Okay. What's going to come out about JD Vance? Because that's their guy, JD Vance. Yeah.
And who puts number 9 in? Like, that shouldn't even be like, what? We should be nicer to the people in charge. And
who are supposed to represent us.
This is just like, don't kill me, bro.
But he's not even a public servant. I don't think he's arguing that. I honestly think it's about the politicians who are now getting these hard questions. But you might be right. So this is Alex Karp. Just if anybody, I see Kimiko, it's Alex Karp from Palantir. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's both to me. I mean, it's the do-gooders, which are the AI tech bros and the politicians.
Right.
They're the ones that are heroic. So we got to lay off of them. That's how this whole thing in total reads to me.
Right.
And don't regulate them.
You're right. Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
The psychologization, whatever, he's just making shit up, of modern politics is leading us astray. Those who look to the political arena to nourish their soul and sense of self, who rely too heavily on their internal life finding expression in people they may never meet, will be left disappointed. Don't have heroes. Don't expect anything from the people in charge.
Yeah, I forget which of these AI guys was the one who was like, he had an interview with Charlie Rose about how lack of empathy was good because he never showed empathy.
Well, I mean, Elon Musk said that for sure.
No, it was the fat bald guy. I'm sorry to be so fat, but yeah.
Like Reid Hoffman or?
I don't remember.
All right. They're all the
But
same.
anyway, it was a lack of empathy. Like, empathy is bad for a businessman kind of thing. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't, it's pure capitalist stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Empathy is bad, and you should never have regrets and look back on any decisions you made.
No regrets.
Just bulldoze forward, fuck everyone who gets harmed by anything you ever do, which is AI and a nuts. Oh, it's Mark Andreessen. Yeah, thank you, Jay.
Oh, okay. Wait, Mark Andreessen. Wait, Reid Hoffman is LinkedIn. Mark Andreessen. Whatever. I can't. Yeah, Josie also. Okay. You know what's so funny is, so first of all, this is all disgusting. If they hadn't put the moral debt part at the beginning, this is just standard, McKinsey, what's it called? Vendor buy-in and sort of like business, use your sales pitch, right? Which doesn't have any morality to it. It's all just capitalism and the bottom line. But like, they're trying to couch it as if they are public servants or doing something good, but they don't want to have to do any of the good to earn that assessment from all of us. And so they're just floundering. I mean, they're not really, because they're ruining the world and they've got all of our money and everything. But it is total just, hope, corporate speak. Exactly. Okay.
Well, and what it is, this book is for other tech bros and tech wannabe bros and people who stan Elon Musk. Why you're not reading this book if you are curious about AI in any way. It's not even about AI. It's about the social contract of us worshiping AI. And so to read this book requires by default that you be in this spectrum of fucking tech bros somehow.
Exactly. And they're little nation
justification for your cruelty to come.
Yeah, exactly. Our society has grown too eager to hasten and is often gleeful at the demise of its enemies. I mean, this guy, more than anybody, has been on camera talking about blowing up Palestinians and they're all terrorists, saying that the kids on colleges are all Hamas. And like, what's his name? Ellison is another one who's like, we're going to surveil everybody to keep them in line, because if they know they're being surveilled, they view us all as their enemy, which is why they want to know our thoughts for pre-crime, right? That's the whole deal.
Yeah, which is also why we got to lay off these politicians, because that's how they're so popular now, because they've bought all of our politicians. So that's their only ally in any of this project of theirs.
100%. Atomic age is ending. One age of deterrence, atomic age is ending. New era of deterrence built on AI set to begin. No other country in the history of the world has advanced progressive values more than this one. I think depending on how he means advanced progressive values, I think there's an aspirational quality that's probably true. But then you have to look at the facts on the ground of what we have done with our power, and it has not been to advance progressive values.
Yeah, there's the rhetorical piece, which, we represent this beacon of freedom, this melting pot, and we, spreading democracy in the world, but more like a viral infection than anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, we used to at least sort of fulfill this moral debt that we had in the world with these programs that supply AIDS medicine, vaccines, yada, yada. But we just pulled all that recently, and goes hand in hand with the tech bros coming in. It's the same project.
And it's all the DOGE stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Zainab, this is one of your favorites. This is Alex Karp's manifesto for Palantir. Okay. American power. This is just phenomenal to write this. American power has made possible an extraordinarily long peace. What are you talking about? We have waged one illegal war after another this past century.
Yeah.
That's all we've done.
It's wild.
Okay. This one's crazy. 15. The post-war neutering of Germany and Japan must be undone. Could anybody remind me of why we maybe neutered Germany and Japan? Like, he is full on, let's go back to our Nazi alliances. What are we doing with this pacifism? And, defanging of Germany was an overcorrection.
Overcorrection. I mean, think about that. The Nazis, stopping the Nazis was an overcorrection. Okay. The overcorrection was given Palestine to Israel.
Exactly.
If you brought that up, you would have some sort of point, but that doesn't reflect on our action to Germany.
Yeah. I mean, and for which Europe is now paying a heavy price because all those Muslims from the Middle East are coming in. That's what he's saying. Yes. Remember those Aryan ideals? We should have left it like that. There are all these black and brown people now coming with their barbaric ways. Like, that's what he's saying. We should applaud those who attempt. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the arrogance of not recognizing 15 should not be written in that way. Like, if you had a nuanced argument, this bullet point should explain some of the nuance. Like, everyone's going to read that and say, we went too far with the Nazis. Fighting the Nazis.
Their problem is this is a second time saying theatrical commitment. So theatrical is like hysterical. Anytime that you have a moral quandary or that you feel uncomfortable with something, or you want to discuss the possible ramifications of your batshit crazy ideas, that's hysterical. But him like waving a sword around and talking about like piss bombs on Palestinians isn't hysterical. That's just pragmatic. We should applaud those who attempt to build where the market has failed to act. The culture almost snickers at Musk's interests and grand narrative, as if billionaires ought to simply stay in their lane of enriching themselves. I pity the poor billionaires. Okay, let's get off of this one. We are almost done. There's a page and a half left. Silicon Valley must play a role in addressing violent crime. Here we go. And of course, that's just lock up more people. It's not like we need to take a huge salary cut, reduce the CEO to worker wage ratio to what it used to be, which was still appalling, like 70 to 1. Now it's like 900 to 1 or something.
Look, 17 is just, you should support the surveillance state that we are creating, and we're the heroes for it.
Yeah. Yeah. The ruthless exposure of the private lives of public figures drives far too much talent away from government service. You guys, we are going to find out something insane about JD Vance, because that's their person. That's who Peter Thiel is funded. I just feel like something is coming, because he keeps coming back to this. Like, what are you so worried about? The public arena and the shallow and petty assaults against those who dare to do something other than enrich themselves has become so unforgiving that but he just, in the prior one, basically was like, you got to let them enrich themselves if you want them to be public servants. They can't be priests. They've got to be able to enrich themselves. The caution in public life that we unwittingly encourage is corrosive. Whatever, they won't say anything. Those who say nothing wrong often say nothing much at all. Pervasive intolerance of religious belief in certain circles must be resisted. I don't feel like there's intolerance of religious belief. You've got the president with his wackadoo snake charmer lady. Everybody's got their hands on his shoulders. You have Pete Hegseth with the Christian nationalist tattoo. You've got wars being started on right before Purim because of the Talmud. I mean, like, okay. Now we get into just like pure racism. Some cultures have produced vital advances. Others remain dysfunctional and regressive. All cultures are now equal. Criticism and value judgments are forbidden. Yet this new dogma glosses over the fact that certain cultures, and indeed subcultures, have produced wonders. Others have proven middling and worse, regressive and harmful.
So yeah, that's just justification for somehow that's the brown people, that's the Iranians, that's the Palestinians, that's it.
All the global South. Look at how all those Africans live in poverty.
Which is, because, it's again like, give us money so we can do bad things there.
Which is why they're not poor countries. They're rich countries that have been stolen from. You steal their resources, their minerals, their cobalt. They're like, that is why they are so impoverished, is because imperial powers come in and take over and fund, rebels and create havoc so that they're in civil war, and that disarray allows the capitalists to come in and steal from them. But that won't be part of his narrative. It's just the West is good because we have more. Okay. And we must resist the shallow temptation of a vacant and hollow pluralism. We in America, and more broadly the West, have for the past half century resisted defining national cultures in the name of inclusivity. But inclusion to what? He's just a racist piece of shit, is what he is.
Yeah, they all are. I mean, it's like, it's part of the project. And I don't doubt that they believe a lot of this racism. But also it's, once you dehumanize cultures entirely, it allows him to make a lot more money, they can put these programs in Palestine, and you don't have to worry too much about being good. And, don't judge us leaders. We're taking out the bad culture. So just don't look at it too closely,
They're not. And the funny thing is what they'll say when they're trying to justify why it's okay. Like part of the dehumanization of either Islamic nations or Muslim nations or brown people anywhere is look at the way they treat their gay people, which first of all, you could really talk a lot about how we treat our gay people and also how the people that they exalt, like, how they treat their gay people, but whatever, that's their thing. So they're really woke about that right? They talk about that all the time. Tell me what women's rights are like in Palestine. Tell me what how gay people are treated, right?
Well, so you don't bomb them into yeah.
Anyway, really disgusting all over the place. And then, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say before we move on to more of this, but this just reminded me of listening to NPR when we were talking about the cultures, and some cultures are worth wiping out. NPR, they just did a whole segment that I listened to, and the premise of the segment was, why don't progressives care about the genocide in the Congo? Right. And they did this whole episode on it without mentioning the genocide in Israel, in Palestine.
Of course.
And it was all about, well, they care about their economic interests, and that's what really matters. It's like, no, we only have so much bandwidth for genocide, and there's one in particular that we are funding directly, and that's probably going to trump it because we can impact that genocide if we, but they didn't bring it up. They had a whole section on genocide about the Congo without bringing up on any level Palestine.
It's always that whataboutism, like the article that we showed from the Bulwark on Thursday or Wednesday when they were like, where'd all the protesters go? All the people who they were so into protesting the genocide when it was Kamala and Biden, but where'd they go? And meanwhile, like, we're always showing that they are protesting them, but also they got locked up and threatened and doxxed and, expelled from schools and fired. So like, you won, you shut everybody up, but also that whole thing, they are trying so hard, and it's all just to justify this genocide. I mean, it is insane. It's truly insane. But Trump loves them. Palantir Technologies has proven to have great warfighting capabilities and equipment. Just ask our enemies, President DJ Trump.
Why don't you ask the dead children?
Remember their full page ad in the New York Times? Palantir stands with Israel. And for all of their, targeted killings, targeted strikes, and, their precision strikes, why does Gaza look the way it does? If you're so precise, why do we even need your precision strikes? You're just reducing everything to rubble. And now you're doing the same thing in Lebanon. And you're precision targeting. You're targeting schools, universities, hospitals, medics, journalists in every place that you bomb. So what's the precision exactly?
Well, exactly. And if we're dealing with an AI that's going to make some mistakes, you haven't learned from the mistakes yet? You're repeating the same exact mistakes in Lebanon now.
They don't even admit the mistakes. This is, Joe Lonsdale. He's one of the co-CEOs or presidents or whatever of Palantir. Co-founder, sorry. It's right there. Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale apparently still believes the Manab Elementary School was hit by a failed Iranian missile, a belief that is not supported by any accounts. And he says, by all accounts, it was a failed Iranian missile. War is horrible. Death and suffering caused by this regime was 1,000 times. I mean,
And this is what this AI brings along with everything else is like the gaslighting, like you can't believe your eyes now is the thing. And so here's the co-founder of this fucking cruel, evil technology telling you a whole nother reality of what happened. No consequence for him.
Nothing. Well, they're pushing that really hard. Palantir CEO says legalizing war crimes would be good for business. So you keep pushing on making it constitutional. I'm totally supportive of that. And you know why? Because we know that with their lavender system and all of their AI targeting, they are, and this is from people in the IDF, like generals in the IDF, saying that 83% of people who have been killed are civilians from their lavender gospel AI tools integrated into Israeli military intelligence systems used to identify targets for airstrikes. Systems have been described as accelerating the kill chain and enabling the rapid generation of target lists. An investigation revealed that an internal Israeli military database used in conjunction with these systems had a high proportion of civilian casualties, with some reports suggesting 83 to 86% of the dead in certain periods were civilians.
Just 86% wrong.
600,000 people at least have been slaughtered.
Yeah. And the thing we need to realize, which we do obviously, is that it's not making a mistake. This is what they wanted to do. That's what they were hired for. They were hired to have a cold, uncaring murder machine.
Yeah. And then they can blame it on that. And, you know, you hear on Israeli TV, they talk about it all the time. But you think we should kill the babies in the incubators? Yeah. Why? They're terrorists. No, they're not. Well, their parents are terrorists. Even if that were true, they aren't terrorists. Well, they'll grow up to be terrorists, especially after we kill, they say this, especially after we kill their parents, they will grow up to be terrorists.
Well, Alex Karp himself said in an interview something to that effect.
Yeah.
Remember? Like, you know, do I feel bad about the kids that are going to become, you know, no, he doesn't.
Okay. This, I don't think we've shown this before, but it shows the person who is their mentor is Curtis Yarvin. And a lot of the things that they say started with Curtis Yarvin's blog that was then adopted by all of these. I mean, what's the thing when, you know, nobody wants to have sex with you?
Incels.
Incel. Sorry. Yes. These incel,
I thought you were going to say masking progressive, but that's, I don't know what I was going to say.
Ladies, get on this guy. He masks. He's safe. What is going on? Ladies. So this is a sort of song about Curtis Yarvin, and it's great because it's filled with facts that should terrify all of us. And instead, they've just risen to the very highest echelons of power.
I'm curious about a guy named Curtis Yarvin because most people have never heard that name. But he coined the term red pill. He's the political philosopher behind Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance. He doesn't believe in democracy, defended slavery, compared himself to Hitler, and published a step-by-step plan that became DOGE. So let's talk about Curtis Yarvin. In 2007, he started a blog under a fake name and wrote thousands of pages arguing democracy was a mistake. The Enlightenment was a mistake. Letting you vote was a mistake. America should be run by a CEO king who can't be voted out. No Congress, no courts, no constitution, just performance reviews. He had names for everything. The media was the cathedral. Working class Americans were hobbits, and he was a dark elf. A dark elf, this is a software engineer from San Francisco, sorting real human beings into Lord of the Rings characters, while billionaires read every word like it was scripture. In his own published words, America is a corporation, and all options, including restructuring and liquidation, should be on the table. He means the country's citizens are not owners of their government, but assets. He listed those assets as land, buildings, equipment, and human chattel. That's you in a separate book. He defended slavery as a natural human relationship like marriage. Said Africans tended to make good slaves. Cited a pro-slavery journal from 1857. Then compared himself to Hitler. His words, Hitler reads a lot like me. If I lost 25 IQ points, I may have some of Hitler's talents. I will be the first to admit it, but remember, he's joking, it's satire. Relax, relax. He also proposed proposed converting poor people into biodiesel to fuel city buses. Just kidding, he said his real solution was permanent solitary confinement and sealed VR pods. Giant human honeycombs, his words, with the land redeveloped into villas for oil executives. Oh, and every weapon gets a cryptographic kill switch controlled by corporate shareholders. So if you resist, you're automatically disarmed. But don't worry, he's just trolling, that's always the defense, right? Say the most extreme thing possible, and when people react, say it's a joke. But the jokes keep becoming policy, so I'm not sure which parts are the bits and which parts are DOGE. Now here's how a blog became a movement. Yarvin described his own strategy, and this is a direct quote. Move down the IQ ladder very cautiously and steadily. His blog influenced a philosopher named Nick Land. Nick Land radicalized 4chan, 4chan radicalized Reddit and the manosphere. That pipeline fed straight into QAnon. Millions of people are using his vocabulary right now, and none of them know where it started. Meanwhile, at the top, Peter Thiel read the blog and wrote his own essay arguing democracy should end. Funded Yarvin's company. Spent $15 million putting J.D. Vance in the Senate. Vance went on a podcast and said I was red-pilled and repeated Yarvin's plan almost word for word. Fire every bureaucrat, replace them with our people. If a court tries to stop you, ignore it. That's a blog post from 2012 coming out of a future vice president's mouth. That plan was called Rage, retire all government employees. In 2025, Elon Musk launched DOGE, which looks suspiciously like that plan with a different name. Then at the inauguration, they threw a party at the Watergate Hotel called the Coronation Ball, and Yarvin was the guest of honor. So the man who said democracy is a failed experiment and citizens are human chattel, who defended slavery and compared himself to Hitler, whose blog radicalized the entire internet through a pipeline he designed on purpose, who described that strategy is moving down the IQ ladder, was the VIP at something they literally call the coronation. And all of the people online who call everyone else a sheep are bleeding the exact same words from the exact same blog written by a guy who calls them hobbits and thinks they're too dumb to vote. I think it's about time everyone learned his name.
So that was so well done. I mean,
it's great.
It's just we need like 15 of those and have everybody know all the facts and all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, let's go.
Yeah, it's great.
And kudos to Xana in the chat, because like she was on this a year ago, calling these people out by name.
Yep.
Nobody knew who they were a year ago in the same level they do now. And you know, yes, these are the evil people ruining our futures.
And it's and also the one thing that video did not put in, they should do like an edit or a reboot, is guess who funded Peter Thiel to the tune of tens of millions of dollars? Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Right. So like all of that, they are the Epstein class. They are all the same. And the thing they love is money and power, and the thing they hate is us. And like that's just the baseline of it.
Absolutely. And the truth is, you know, the tech bros have replaced Epstein. Like they've got all the dirt on everybody with the technology. You know, you don't need to put out little sex things. You just need to tap into people's computers and you'll know the whole history of how you can have a politician under your thumb.
Everything you have. And you know who's been talking about that forever and also been talking about all of this forever is Whitney Webb. Like she's been great on all of that.
I watched her on Bree.
Oh yeah, on Bad Faith. Yep.
Bad Faith. Yeah. She just went over this stuff in Bad Faith. It was great.
Oh, was she on recently?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I saw her on like a year ago. I didn't know she was back on that.
Unless I saw a clip from a year ago. I mean, I didn't watch
Got it. Okay.
So
maybe. Anyway, we are in big trouble with these people. And you know, just as like, so we all know, this is where we are. Curtis Yarvin says the best alternative to genociding the undesirables is permanent solitary confinement. This achieves the same result as mass murder without any of the moral stigma. And JD Vance says there's this guy, Curtis Yarvin, who's written about some of these things we want to do. And then we've got Trump saying homegrowns are next, the homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places. The El Salvador prison is not big enough. And this is something, I think we all know, but we talk about all the time here, is they are criminalizing poverty so that people become, they're underpaying us. People become poor by design. They become homeless. They criminalize the homeless people. And then they put them in jails and force them. And it just passed, I think, in Alabama, force them to pay off their existence in these, cages by working for free. We do it here all the time. Famously, Kamala Harris would not allow people who were up for parole to be freed because, and she said this, we need them to fight our fires. We know, remember Bloomberg in 2020 had jailed women doing phone canvassing for him for free. That is the plan. These warehouses, this isn't the thing that I was talking about though. No, sorry. I mean, yes, the warehouses are becoming detention centers, and it will not only be for immigrants, which is what they're trying to justify them with now by saying these immigrants, they're illegal, they're violent criminals. They are building so many of these detention centers. We don't have enough immigrants to fill them. It's for us.
It's us, and the convergence with AI is, it's a pre-crime thing.
Yes.
Because we're high risk to society because we're poor,
right?
And they've heard
a protester
said. So now we are flagged by the AI system to allow them to go to the next level depth into what's going on in our lives, and then the surveillance cameras, the flock cameras, that you're around this target, and now we got to detain you, and you resisted a little bit, so now you're in jail for 10 years.
You had a broken taillight. Think of Sandra Bland, right? Pulled over because she didn't make a left turn signal, and then so they stopped her, and then she also, I think, had a broken taillight, and then the next day put her in jail, and the next day she was dead. And already, I don't know how many people have died in ICE detainment this year. It's the deadliest year for people being detained in ICE detention centers. There are reports of, it sounds a lot like, Gazan hostages in Israeli and also from the West Bank, Palestinian hostages in Israeli torture jails where they are raped. There are all these teen girls who are 13 who are not allowed with the other girls because they are pregnant. Many of them been held there for longer than 9 or 10 months. How are they pregnant?
It's all disgusting, and the lack of accountability on Israel directly has spilled over into the U.S. because they got away with it there. They're training our police force. ICE is largely a product of this learning we've got from Israel.
Yep.
And then who's behind it all? The AI guys are in all of it. Right. They're in all of it.
That's right. So this is the one I was talking about. It was Louisiana, not Alabama. Louisiana has advanced one of the cruelest anti-homeless bills in the country. It would force homeless people to choose between jail and involuntary treatment, make them pay for it, and if they can't pay, force them to perform unpaid labor. And we know that there are, accounts makes it sound anecdotal, but troves of documentation happening still now with chain gangs of mostly Black inmates being forced to pick cotton in the South with, the white deputy up on his horse. We saw at the beginning of the Biden administration, the white border patrol people with their whips against Haitian immigrants.
Yep. And if it's not bipartisan, stop it, Democrats. Maybe stop it.
Excuse me. What are you talking about? Democrats cautioned against angering the $300 million AI lobby ahead of the midterms. No, 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 no. We're going to get to them. You're not allowed to.
It's a hot topic because we want their money, is what they're saying with that one.
Yeah.
Because the public is against the AI exclusively. Yep. Every demographic, and the most against AI for the first time in history, that the younger generation is the most against a technological innovation.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, because they see the harm in it.
Yeah.
They get it. They are already feeling it. Jobs are not available. Entry-level jobs don't exist anywhere near what they did when I was young.
They are thinking that in the next year or two, the unemployment rate for recent college graduates will be 30%. 30%.
Imagine going to college for $150,000 and entering a 30% unemployment field, and your loans don't care.
No, we just, we're maxed out on all of our loans. So we spend thousands of dollars every month just staying in debt. I mean, all of our loans, all of our credit cards. And then once we get below a certain amount, we just got another notice. It was like, we're going to reduce your credit allowance.
Sorry. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah. But also Palantir paid no federal income tax last year.
Because they're so good for society. You got to let them cook.
Don't
let them cook.
Judge what they owe a moral debt. No, we owe them a moral debt, apparently. I don't know.
Ask not.
We're so fucked. Okay, let's have a moment of something good before we get right back into it, because the moral debts will not be repaid. Thank you.
Something good.
That's what I needed. 1 second.
Mortal Wombat.
Gotta get right in there. That's good.
All right. You cannot go wrong with dogs and mud.
God damn it.
All of these people are so good natured. They're all laughing when this happens.
You gotta laugh. When I was young, I had a golden retriever, and it pulled my leash and yanked me and dragged me down the street. And I had a scar for like 20 years on my hand from it, from just being pulled on the cement.
Oh God, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, it was an Irish setter / golden retriever. Anyway, they're just dumb. It was the dumbest, happiest dog. You could not get mad at that thing for anything.
I know, they are so sweet, and you were probably too little to be able really to control it, but that hurts. Yeah. We have a thank you, Citizen Medea. We won't open Hormuz because the orange man's dumb tweets. I mean, this whole thing, which we'll talk about a little bit, it's just a disaster, and I don't know. He's stepped in it, but we're all paying his moral debts, Thank you and cheers. Okay. Should we move to Israel and their moral situation because another interesting article just came out. I did just want to say the soft power thing that Karp refers to in his big manifesto, not winning. The share of respondents who say it's either better to depend on China or on the US under Donald Trump. Canada, 57% China, 23% Trump, which is the US, honestly, not that big a difference. But I mean, the other thing that's really unfortunate is that all these countries that are now, talking about human rights and the rules-based order not being followed were fine through genocide and all of our illegal wars. But it's when Trump threatened them with tariffs or taking over Greenland that they're really upset. Or now, because he's hurting their economic, obviously. I mean, this, it's going to be much worse for all of these countries, the global South, the energy crisis that Trump has forced on the world with this invasion and attack on Iran is, but they didn't care when it was happening to somebody else. So anyway, Germany, 40%, France, 34%, UK, 42%, all for China over the US. So soft power does work. Nobody wants a bully in their midst who terrorizes everybody around them. Okay.
I mean, if you could not create a scenario better than this to drive down the American economy in the long term, to take down our empire, this is the way you would do it.
I mean, it is interesting. Like if you wanted to get really into a conspiracy theory, right?
I believe it at this point.
That he's working for Putin or that he's working for Xi Jinping.
I don't know who he's working for, but like the deal they made with him is you'll get rich. You'll do everything you can to enrich you and your friends around you. You'll destroy the country. You will destroy America as fast, as hard as possible. Like only he could do it. He's such a scumbag that who has such a niche group of supporters. It's a small little segment of society, but that's enough to hang on to and do all the agendas of the AI folks, along with whoever he fucking owes for the tapes that exist or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is that well planned out, but I don't think he's in on it in that same way. Like, I don't think that was his intention, but I don't know. I mean, I can't read his mind, but
I truly don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a coin flip on it.
Yeah. I'm a coin flip on him, but certainly that's what's happening one way or the other. My feeling is that he sees this more as good ratings. And then sometimes he really miscalculates. And that's when he freaks out. Like, I don't think that he thought the Iran war would end this way. I don't think this is going according to his plan or desire, but who knows?
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I don't really think he's trying to keep us from, I don't think he's trying to keep himself from being perceived as the bad guy. So he needs to get out of this soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somehow. And we will. It's just, when is Iran going to decide? I don't know. I don't know what you could put up to Iran. Iran needs their blood in a sense to stop this from happening in the future.
I think that's
the war, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless of anything Trump puts up.
Wait, what did you say?
I said, regardless of anything Trump puts up or his negotiators put up. And they've got children in these positions that should be negotiating.
Yeah. I think they need to know that Israel isn't going to do this again. And Israel knows that they are massively unpopular worldwide with all of their military might, all of their legislation across the globe, I mean, across the West, to punish people who, for free speech, for one of the very few, if you want to talk about what progressive ideals are sort of Western, small L liberal, it is the right to free speech, press, and protest. And we are destroying all of that for Israel, and they still are hated across the whole world. So they know this is their last window of opportunity to do as much damage and do as much land grab as possible. And I think Iran, as you said, like they need to make sure that they are punished so severely that they do not try this again. Because if they have a ceasefire now, Israel doesn't have enough weapons. We don't have enough weapons. It will give us all time to reconvene, you know, build more missiles and drones and whatever else we need, and then just come back at them. So it makes sense that they are not wanting to negotiate with people who break every ceasefire anyway. What's the point? Or kill the diplomats who are looking for peace. All right. Sorry. Okay.
I look at it all like, okay, if Israel truly does have dirt on Trump or whatever, and several people along with him, and if that's the reason that we've been pulled into this to the level we're at, you know, that they own politicians through that, like, at what point does that break? That doesn't necessarily break ever, you know. It just, it's just like, what's the optics of it to the point where they have to back off a little bit and be kind for a moment, or, you know. And I think that's what Iran knows, and they probably have the intelligence on the dirt, even, you know, because everyone spies on everybody's shit, so they know probably what Israel has on them, you know. I don't know. I just don't see a long-term peace deal coming when Israel wants it and our politicians are owned by Israel. So it's temporary, whatever we resolve that.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously Iran is very aware of that. And I mean, I think that's the other thing. It's like, you know, if you read history, this is how a declining empire behaves, right? We don't produce anything from our country. We don't take care of our people. All we do is war. And so, you know, obviously, you know, we have the weapons we could just a little nuke, as Biden said about Russia. We could just do a little nuke. I mean, thankfully he didn't. But, you know, now they're talking about, and like in the pages of legacy media, they talk about, they're justifying just using a little nuke. Yeah. Okay. So great. I mean, horrific. But like, then what? So you just always, there's no diplomacy. There's no peace. Can we never decide to coexist with people who have different forms of government, some of which we don't admire or aspire to, but like we could live in peace with them instead of slaughtering them? I don't know.
Yeah, look, there's money to be made by the people directing the president at the top, along with the president himself. So,
yeah.
We're so far gone that that's the most important thing. That's the most effective predictor of behavior, is who is going to profit from it and how close are they to the power.
And I mean, we've known for quite some time that we don't have a democracy, but you know, that 2014 Stanford Princeton study came out that said our votes don't matter, our voices don't matter, money is the only thing that matters. That is it. And you see it now. You have a Democratic Party that's spending more time focused on Hassan Piker than on the racist, genocidal, maniac fascist in the White House. And they were willing to lose to him so that they wouldn't support what the people wanted in 2016 and 2020 and 2024.
It's wild. Like, I literally can't turn on CNN or listen to NPR, you know, in one day. I do both every day without hearing Hassan Piker's name still. Like, a full 2 weeks past the endorsement thing. Like, it's just the dumbest strategy on earth for Democrats to be doing this.
And more people probably know who he is. It's like the Barbra Streisand effect. More people know who he is now. Like, you know, middle-aged boomer people, right?
Absolutely. Like, the cool guy my daughter likes and listens to all the time, who educated her on politics, who I agree with on everything too. Well, that guy's endorsing him. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the shortcut for who people should endorse. Although he was just asked, I didn't even pull it because it kind of made me so mad, but they were asking him like 2028 presidential prospects and
AOC,
whom he would,
don't tell me.
Yeah. AOC was a yes, like with no qualifiers. And there was somebody else he was 50-50 on who, Gretchen Whitmer, whatever, but he was a solid no on Kamala, on Mayor Pete, on all of the other people. But I don't know. That's that last sliver we got.
I don't know what's happening. It's early, but there's a big uptick on the promotion of Mayor Pete lately.
Really?
I've been seeing a lot of Mayor Pete shit around.
So no women, but yes, gay men. Interesting how Democrats
might be their
choose,
way out, right?
Which is woke. I'm seeing a lot of John Ossoff clips, and it might just be like that I clicked on one person's click of one clip, and then it just put everything else in there. But they all make me nervous. I mean, well, first of all, I don't know enough about John Ossoff, but I don't think I'm a fan. The way he's speaking now, it's very Obama-ish.
Yeah.
And I don't trust him at all.
Speaking of Obama-ish, did you see Obama and our guy? I mean, not our guy, but
Mamdani
and Obama talking to kids.
That's the thing is, what are you going to do if, and this is the problem. It's why I'm not a politician. We occupy a different space. And I do think that all the spaces are necessary, must be occupied. Right. So like we can call out everything that Mamdani does that's shitty, but also highlight the things that he does that are good. Mamdani has to walk, any politician has to walk a different kind of line.
Yeah,
How can he reject the last Democratic president who still remains popular?
I really don't fault him for the appearance or any of it.
I know.
Like,
but it does
because he's a politician. But
I know.
It's doing more to Obama's brand than to his. I don't know.
That's the thing. He's helping resuscitate this fucking guy who's done nothing good for any of us except what were his big accomplishments? Starting 5 more wars during his tenure, giving us the Heritage Foundation health plan and handing the reins of power over to Trump, then crushing the Bernie movement, crushing the NBA strike. Okay.
And Mamdani is just coming off a speech where he was talking about how, socialists need to show their merits through policy, which he's doing, he is doing it.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
I get it. But I get it, and it might help him too. It might help socialists and progressives as well. So I don't know. I can slush it around in my head and come up with it makes sense. And you can't say no. If you're him, this is good objectively.
Yes. It absolutely does. And I will say, he was just on, I think it was I don't know, was it NPR, like an NPR podcast, but video. And the woman asked him, do you still consider Trump a fascist? And he said, yes. Would you say that to his face? Yes. How would he respond? He was like, well, I did it on camera. You saw. And he did. He called what Israel is doing a genocide on camera in the Oval Office, standing next to Trump, and he called him a fascist. So, I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Well, I mean, on some level, Trump, it's a narcissist thing. Mamdani's popular. People love him. Trump doesn't have that same support out of his little group of people.
Right.
And so, he's like, this guy has the balls to say what I really am. He knows he's a fascist.
Yeah. And also
he's envious of that.
Yeah, I think so. And I also think it goes back to my thesis, which is, yes, I think Trump is a fascist, racist piece of shit, but I also think that he is reality TV ratings, the tension, the fighting, the WWE of it, all of that kind of stuff. He's a showman. And so I think he thinks that's more compelling on some level, is to have this other guy who's wildly popular watching this. And okay, so what, they're still kind of going at each other's throats. That's still, good TV.
Yeah, I agree that that's always been a part of Trump, always will be. He's that guy, and he's correct in the sense that like that is more important to our current media than the policies. Like they will always latch on to whatever the drama and tension is between things. And he's been able to manipulate that, but he's not a smart guy either. He's just going with what has worked forever for him.
And
an actual opposition party would be able to label him and stick that to him and end his career the first time.
Yes, if only we had one of those.
Right.
Yes, truth. We knew you were talking about Trump as the snake oil salesman. Okay. So going back to the moral injury. This is a rough one. And here we go. Sorry. Okay. This is in Haaretz. This was 2 days ago. I felt I was a monster. IDF soldiers talk about the moral injury and the silence. This whole article is truly atrocious, horrifying. I mean, it doesn't excuse any of these people. But it's just one testimony after another about doing heinous things, killing unarmed families of this woman, Maya, says, I was sitting there in the command room. Suddenly the soldiers on watch noticed 5 Palestinians crossing the line they weren't allowed to cross, heading for northern Gaza. Everybody went crazy. There was a big mess. The battalion commander gave an order to overwhelm them with fire, even though they hadn't been confirmed as armed or anything like that. A tank started shooting at them with its machine gun, hundreds of bullets. She says 4 of the 5 Palestinians were killed. A few hours later, a D9 Caterpillar armored bulldozer buried them in the sand. When I asked why, they said it was so the dogs wouldn't eat them and spread disease. The one who survived was put in a cage at the outpost, and they said we had to wait for a Shin Bet man to interrogate him. No interrogator from the Shin Bet service came that day. I spent the night at the outpost, but couldn't fall asleep. I was the only girl there. Suddenly, a few soldiers called me, so I went with them to the cage. The Palestinians sat there, cuffed and blindfolded, and seemed to be freezing from the cold. Suddenly, one of the soldiers took out his penis and started pissing on him. He told him, this is for Barry, you asshole. This is for Nova, Kibbutz Barry and Nova Music Festival, 2 of the sites attacked by Hamas on October 7th. Nobody could stop laughing. I might have laughed too. Shin Bet interrogator arrived the next day. He was with them for 10 minutes and said it was just some guy trying to get back home to northern Gaza, that he had nothing to do with Hamas, so they let him go. Which is pretty much every story in this whole article. There's another one about stripping him naked, tying his penis to his testicles and yanking on it repeatedly. It just goes on and on. The part of the moral injury has become political. So officially, the Defense Ministry doesn't recognize the diagnosis of a moral injury, which experts note hasn't yet found its way into the American Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Illness, the DSM. So a soldier suffering from moral injury will approach the ministry's rehabilitation department, go through a medical committee, and be recognized as suffering from PTSD. While sometimes these 2 afflictions overlap, they're fundamentally different. So the problem then becomes the treatment. PTSD is treated by extensive gradual exposure to the trauma with the goal to try to separate the traumatic memory from the emotional response. Moral injury requires goal-oriented work on acceptance and making peace with the deed that caused the crisis. In other words, the person needs to forgive himself. IDF spokesperson's unit hasn't released a statement on the issue, and the entire matter has been kept under wraps, unlike many other steps by the Army for soldiers' mental health during the war. The IDF even refused to call this mental phenomenon moral injury, preferring the term injury of identity, The military denied that there was any hidden agenda behind the name change, but sources say something else. It's pretty obvious that a socio-political statement is being made here, says a mental health officer in the reserves. After all, if we recognize that many soldiers are suffering from moral injuries, how does that fit with the cliche about the most moral army in the world? So instead, they chose a phrase that shifts responsibility to the soldier as if there were a problem with his identity rather than the actions his leaders sent him to perform. I think that's really profound on so many levels, right? The difference between PTSD, which is a response to a trauma that you maybe had nothing to do with at all. Moral injury is completely different. It's doing something or not stopping something or being supportive of something that is reprehensible even to you.
That's guilt-based, where PTSD is survival-based largely. I mean, it depends, of course. There's but sounds are very triggering usually to people with PTSD, right. And touch is triggering, and different things. But moral injury is like I can't live with myself mostly.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Or my life is affected because of what I've seen, and I hyper focus on that or whatever.
Yeah,
very different psychologically, obviously, which is the point. And they know they're doing this to their own army, because you can't be in their army and not witness this stuff. Right. You're a part of it. It's so prevalent. It's not an obscure little bad actor here and there.
They're dealing with lots of suicides, and a lot of the people in this article, like some of them check themselves in to psychiatric wards. And again, like it's the least of my concerns on some level. And yet you're creating a nation of monsters. And, it didn't just start 2 years ago. This is an ongoing project. But you're creating a nation of monsters. So they either take themselves out one way or the other.
Yeah.
But if they remain, then they are full on in that monster mentality.
Yeah. And, when you're in the war and actually a part of it like they are now, it's different than the abstract that they're taught. And culturally, like you're witnessing the cruelty. You're not just sort of believing what your government has told you forever.
Right.
Like, you're not the most moral army. That's the first thing you learn.
Yeah. And there's really no space with these. And they were also even talking about some of the children of IDF soldiers who have heard stories, and they are also suffering from this. And again, this is not, this has nothing to do with me truly pitying the perpetrators of genocide at all. But I do think like it's a different kind of reckoning. And in terms of like, when do we ever get peace? You're not making peace with people who think it's okay to kill a family who's trying to get home, right? Like, there are no rules, and none of the superiors are people that they can look up to, right? So like, there's no place to go to complain. You're now truly creating a society of sociopaths.
Yeah. I mean, they have for decades, but now they're all involved in it directly, not on the abstract level.
So this, I know it's horrifying, but there's been so much talk about it, and we've referred to it, and now they're even referring to these kinds of testimonies with like an assumption or an implication of that they are accurate on Israeli national TV. So this is a testimony of a Palestinian man who was a hostage in Sidi Taman.
يعني ما كانش هو عبارة عن مرتجل أو سجن سيدة تيمان، لا كان سيدي تيمان للانتقام. أقول لك على أصعب موقف أنا عشته في سجن سيدي تيمان، اعتقل سيدي تيمان. نادوا على أسماء 3 أشخاص، كان اسمي من بين ال3 أسماء هذول. طلعنا مساحة إسمنتية مخصصة لنوع واحد من نوع التعذيب، بس نوع واحد من نوع التعذيب. فكوا عينينا قاعدين على ركبنا. اجوا اخذوا شاب كان موجود، اخذوه ضربوه. بعد ما ضربوه نيموه على الارض على بطنه، ربطوا ايديه وربطوا رجليه. واقفين تقريبا 9 جنود او 8 جنود كانوا موقفين. الا فجأة جردوه من ملابسه السفلية. اجا كابتن كان موجود، اجا زي وضع مادة، اشي حاجة اشي يعني على مؤخرة الشاب، واطلقوا. كان في كلب موجود، اطلقوا عليه الكلب. الكلب هذا يعني كيف اقول لك، مش مارس الجنس، اغتصب الشاب، اغتصبوه في معنى الكلمة، اغتصاب تام.
אתה מבין? הגעת עם נשק, הגעת עם כלב, מי זה הכלב הזה?
הכלב הזה זה ג'אנגו, איתי בכל פעילות, איתי במילואים.
ג'אנגו?
היה בעזה.
כלב גבעות, יש לומר. ככה אמא שלי קוראת לי אגב, ג'אנגו.
כן, כן. טיפל קצת בנוח'בות בסט תימן, עשה הרבה.
אל תגיד דברים ש... יש סרטון כבר.
בקיצור, אותו מג"ד.
They don't deny it. They're proud of it. They laugh about it. And there's
it's something that maybe a journalist could make a big story out of.
Why would you talk about that when you can talk about Hassan Piker?
Do you think there's some evidence out there in the world when they're on TV, you know, basically
with their dog, with the dog from Sadeh Taman, laughing about it?
No, but we got to go with abstract things that never happened. I keep using abstract, but you know, these anonymous, there's no facts behind anything from October 7th. Like all the systemic stuff is crap, but you don't even have incidents directly. But we've got this right in front of us that we know they have literal trained dogs to rape prisoners. Prisoner testimony. The guy's on TV with the dog as a hero to the people, and this is where we're putting our money and morality with as a country. It's
Wally, absolutely. You know, Francesca Albanese read aloud so many of the testimonies, and we have read quite a few of the ones that she included also. There's one man who talks about, you know, being raped with carrots and bottles, and he's now been reunited with his family. And, you know, I am so grateful that people have the courage. Some people have the courage to talk about the torture that exists when they are being held hostage by Israelis. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying, Pat, like the fact that, you know, all of these legacy media, all they talk about is the horrific systematic rape by Hamas on October 7th. Not a shred of evidence. After all of the, you know, they like, but a reminder, there are AI video surveillance everywhere, number one. And they have still not been able to procure a single shred of video, of photographic evidence, of forensic evidence, physical anything.
Yeah, and if you're gonna just take that as justification for all the shit, well, can you put some counterbalance at least on some of the known things? Like, it's just amazing. I mean, obviously we know the purpose. It's to sell us this war, but come on, it's just so clear. I don't know. Nobody trusts the media anymore because we know this is all happening, and we know our media is lying to us about all of it.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And well, this is interesting. So like you see something like it's short and it's Kornacki, not Harry Enton. So they will show something like this.
Gen Z, that rising generation. Look at this. Across party there, 3/4 of Gen Z say they sympathize more with the Palestinians than the Israelis. That's a massive sea change.
It certainly is. It'll be fascinating to see how that plays out in the midterm. Steve Kornacki, thank you so much.
Can we discuss why? Can anybody ever talk about why Gen Z thinks this? Because they don't watch your crap network and they're actually seeing evidence in front of them, but they're not going to address that. Maybe Gen Z is just Hamas. Maybe they're all terrorists. Maybe they're being paid by Chinese or Iranian infiltrators or whatever Pelosi said. Like, there's no examination. They're just so stupid and ignorant. They believe anything. But what isn't that what Hillary said?
Yeah, but in a sense, they've created this echo chamber of, other than me, the people that watch CNN are, you know, in their little.
Oh, Pat.
Viewers.
Oh, you froze for a second. You froze.
My computer is dark right now. What's going on?
Oh,
am I on screen?
I see you on screen and I hear you now, but back. You were frozen. Weird. Can you hear me?
Mossad. Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there either. That was
you started
weird.
doing a little inner monologue there, which made me think
I'm going to get droned any second now.
Oh my God, with their precise targeting, precision strike,
Good
the
Lord.
whole apartment complex. Okay. So they are not going to examine, even for a second, why Gen Z feels the way it feels.
Well, and that's why they villainize Hassan Piker and whatnot. He's part of why Gen Z buys all this nonsense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's what is it, like Schrodinger's left? We are both totally inconsequential. Nobody cares about the left, especially Hassan Piker. What did David Frum say? He only has like 36,000 viewers. He is so inconsequential, but he is also the reason that Hillary lost and Kamala lost.
It's true. Absolutely. I mean, you got to blame somebody, you know. Whoever doesn't endorse Gavin Newsom in 2028 or whoever the fuck it is, you're why we have JD Vance.
Okay, really quickly, JD Vance, Jesus Christ. We didn't report on this, but we didn't talk about this report, but I think just as we're heading away from Israel, I do think it's kind of interesting. An Italian magazine, Espresso magazine, did a piece on settlers in the West Bank, the annexation of the West Bank with soldiers complicit in the settlers' actions, Gaza annihilated, the advance into Lebanon, the border violated in Syria, the war on Iran, ethnic cleansing and massacres. Thus, the Zionist right gives shape to greater Israel. So it's called l'abuso, or, it's from L'Espresso, l'abuso, abuse, right? Well, the Zionists did not like this photo at all. This is Rabbi Pupko, who actually looks quite a bit like this settler. Italy's magazine Espresso Online publishing anti-Semitic Der Strömer worthy imagery. So he admits this looks like Nazi shit.
This looks bad.
This looks like
we're
Strömer, right?
Come on, our army is all like hot women. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, those IDF thirst traps. The women soldiers of the IDF stripping down to the 9.5 weeks, Joe Cocker, you can leave your hat on. They should clarify where they got this image from. The military vest worn here is no longer in use by the IDF. The wedding ring and bracelet are never worn by ultra-Orthodox men. The formation of the beard and kippah are outlandish. And of course, the very bizarre smile showing teeth are unnatural. So he's like, all of this is Nazi shit. It's disgusting. Nobody should do this, look like this, right? But
no, and they put out, a lot of people were pushing that it was AI initially.
Yeah.
Like this is what a character of us looks like. This is not us. This is if you put into AI, make an ugly Jew,
inbred Jewish guy with like, exactly. Meanwhile, this is from 2025. Israeli settlers uproot hundreds of trees belonging to Palestinians in the West Bank. And that is the same guy to the right of the Palestinian flag. He's well known, but also this is from that actual L'Espresso report. This was
يلا لحالك وتمدش ايدك يلا يلا ما حدا رح يروح لحالك.
I mean, so brave of that Palestinian woman to stand like that in front of these monsters who she knows will just beat her to a pulp or rape her or kidnap her and bring her to a torture rape dungeon, you know. Well, and they're uprooting the trees as people are saying, and as we have talked about, like, what kind of people who are of the land destroy the land, uproot olive trees, burn everything down, demolish, like just turn everything to rubble. Invaders are just, I mean, they are truly monsters. And to be so brave in the face of that. But, you know, everybody was calling for the article to be taken down, and they stood by the article, obviously.
And the reason, I mean, the picture is so powerful, not because he's a trope. It's because your actions are ugly and you're ugly. Let's be honest. Right? So, and here's this beautiful princess with the courage to stand up to him in contrast to this evil fuck. With
guns and everything, you know, and the whole world, like army behind him. Yeah.
Yeah. And the hissing and the noises is very bizarre. I don't know. Zaina was saying something about it. Like that's the way they communicate, you know, sometimes. But
so some people have said that he was saying goy, goy, goy. I think he was calling the sheep, but I don't know.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
But
like,
if you have to communicate in sounds instead of words, like maybe there's do something illegal sound, you know, like kill, you know, I don't know, but it's whatever. That I'm just making shit up now, but I love that they made such a stink about this, and it was just clearly fucking them. Like,
yeah. And also to say, like, this is Nazi shit. Why would you publish something that's such a blatant anti-Semitic lie, making them look like Nazis? And it's like, no, it's all true. Like, this is the actual footage. They are Nazis. They are Nazis. That is what they are.
Yeah.
And we can spin the wheel in a second. Hi, Lucky. I hear her. But you know, no peace for these people when they are. Oh, hi. You can't see her, can you?
Lucky, hi. You want a treat? Who wants a treat?
Come say hi.
Lucky, Doge Dog, Doge Dog, come here, Doge Dog.
Do I come up here? No, she wants me to feed her dinner. It's kind of late. Oh, well, I will soon. Okay, this is in New York. Come here. Come here. This is in New York City.
Fucking child killer. Fucking asshole. Fucking cunt. How many fucking children did you kill in Gaza, motherfucker? Fucking cunt. Fucking baby killer.
I have to say, the baby killer thing is fantastic because it's really stuck. And we talk all the time about, like, they'll talk, God, they're saying now, 32,000 people who were killed were women and children. So first of all, you're going to tell, like, the same people who claim that the Iranian regime killed 30,000 people in one day of protests are saying we're watching, bomb, like 2,000-pound bomb after bomb after bomb just obliterate all of Gaza and now Lebanon for 2.5 years. And you're still going to talk about it's 30,000 or 60,000 people, but then also like, women and children. It's like, but men also deserve not to be slaughtered. But the baby killer thing, it sticks, right?
Yeah. And you just can't, you can put out your own fake numbers if you want, if you're Israel, as they do.
Right.
But your fake numbers killed how many kids and children and women? And, so you can't hide from it. You carpet bombed a civilization.
Yep.
And you think you're better than everyone else in the world. And you dehumanize every Palestinian, every Iranian, everyone in Lebanon, everyone in Syria, everyone everywhere. You're stealing their land in front of us on video every day.
Yeah.
No one's checked you. You're the bad guy. We know it. Now, what can we do to stop it? Maybe we can't do much. That's the fucked part. But we know who you are. So the only thing we have left, the only thing that we know we can do is if I see you, I can yell at you and tell you who you are.
Yeah.
And your life can be as uncomfortable as fucking possible.
Kudos to everybody who ever does that, to any IDF soldier, Israeli genocide supporter. It just, and I love it. Like, obviously we're showing it because of that, but it's so little in comparison to what they deserve. It's just, what you're saying, like, we have no power. They know we all hate this. Nobody wants this. All right. Time to have a moment.
We're short on what the fuck.
Yeah. All right.
Let's just pups again.
Make a call.
No, let's hear somebody.
All right.
This is the 1971 ad.
When they divide up the pie in Washington, do you ever wonder who gets the biggest slice? Most of your taxes go to pay for wars, past, present, and future. What does your money buy? It buys you Vietnam, and with it, inflation, unemployment, disunity, and death. It buys you bombs instead of schools, defoliation instead of clean air and water, tanks instead of trains, and destroys homes instead of building them. Isn't it time we got out of their country and back into ours?
1971. Even fucking see, I was just going to make a big point, and now I can't remember if it was Curtis Yarvin or Peter Thiel. I actually think it was Peter Thiel who said capitalism isn't working for people. That's why, like, especially not Gen Z, that's why they hate it. They know it's not working for people.
Yeah, well, you can just track the popularity of socialism, and socialism is popular now.
Yeah.
Despite every ounce of media to this day being dedicated to telling everyone that capitalism is the best thing on earth, everyone in America across all demographics is like, except for some of the old folks, is pretty much supportive of socialism now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, listen, I know that we have some of our issues, but the Mamdani pied-à-terre tax video was viewed by tens of millions of people, actually, and had some of the worst people like really in a meltdown because of the joy he obviously is taking in forcing these ghouls to have to pay.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate, but who don't actually live there. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again, they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Yeah.
I love the Succession music and then the tap on it. I mean, $500 million is such a drop in the bucket, but I love, like, he, you know,
Look,
yes, it's a start.
It's a start. And let me tell you, that legislation and the move to do this is so popular that CNN had a panel on it, and their panel couldn't go against the actual tax. Their panel was to be worried about Mamdani in the future because this is just the start kind of thing. They're like, well, yes, strategically it was smart to go after that money because nobody's going to get mad at those people, that particular niche of people.
Right.
But that's all the taxes. That's what these people are pretending to not understand.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to get mad about any tax on the rich
No.
anywhere. It's not just this little segment of New Yorkers that happen to be living elsewhere. No, we want the money back, you fucks.
We want the money back that you stole, and that, you know, you will criminalize poor people who shoplift, you know, a hygienic toiletry product, right? But not the $50 billion of wage theft every year that all of these people are perpetrating against all of us.
Oh, yes.
All right. So I guess we're doing a little Democratic stuff. What'd you say? Oh, Bob and Weave.
Oh, Bob and Weave.
Well, I thought since we showed one Democratic official, we could show, you know, as we mentioned last week, the Democratic Party thought it would be smart to bring Kamala Harris and Cory Booker to their Democratic convention in Michigan, because Kamala famously did so well there in 2024, and because Booker is a huge Zionist who is friends with Rabbi Shmuley and will not speak out against genocide. So here is how Cory Booker decided to address the people in the audience.
Calling it like it is. After our primaries and Hillary Clinton was our nominee, there was some people, not all people, not even most people, some people said, well, I don't like her. I don't agree with everything she says. I saw it with Kamala Harris. There were too many people that say, I don't agree with her on everything. I mean, 90 out of 100, I agree with her, but those 10, I can't do it. Well, you may disagree with her on 10% of her views, but you let someone get in office who you disagree with on everything.
First of all, 10% is generous. And second, if the 10% is genocide, yeah. Like, it's just
and at the end of the day, you knew, Hillary knew, Kamala knew, everybody knew if you just met the public where the public was on these issues, you could win. And it's not that we disagreed on 10%. It's that you are willing to lose instead of represent us a smidge.
Yep.
A smidge. Like not even, it would have taken so little tweak to Kamala's position on Palestine to win the election.
Yep.
And she couldn't do it.
And so
that tells us where you are on all the other policies as well.
To whom you are beholden. And it is certainly not any moral justice at all, or your actual constituents. So it's not good policy. It's not good politics. You suck. Here's another person who sucks. And go ahead.
Well, it's strategically, why are you holding it in Michigan? Why are you reminding us all of how much you didn't support what Michigans felt at the time?
For the same reason they sent Bill Clinton and Richie Torres there, leading up to 2024 general election, knowing that Michigan was anti-genocide and was doing the whole uncommitted, right? And then they sent
strategically, like I'm a good person, but like I could be a consultant, and if I'm a consultant and it's all about money and evil and winning, this is not the way, even for that. It's so stupid. This is how you lose. This is like,
if they were smart, because I agree with a lot of things that I've heard that Hassan Piker says. I don't watch him enough to be like, oh, I'm a Hassan Piker fan, but like I agree with a lot of what he says. But in that video where he said he would vote for AOC, if I were the person that you're describing, like a consultant who really just wants to win, regardless, you send Hassan Piker there and you pretend that this is who we are. You just remarket the whole thing. It doesn't have to be real, but they don't even want to win that badly.
I mean, it feels like they're getting advice from people that want to lose. I mean, I understand on an individual level. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. But like, even I don't understand how you're. I think pushing the propaganda is more important to anyone in the consulting class who gets the gig than getting their candidates past the finish line. Like,
yeah,
it's just so odd. I don't like, how do you do this? How do you hold your primary in Michigan of all places? Mistake right off the bat. Yeah, it's a swing state. So you're going to go to some old logic of drumming up enthusiasm in a swing state, but it's just a reminder. It's picking the scab on the problem with the Democratic Party. And then you bring in the people that we hate who tell us we didn't vote right again.
So your logic, which I agree with, is also why I don't understand why they bother criminalizing anti-apartheid speech or pro-Palestinian speech, because they're just going to do whatever they want to do anyway, right? It's like, why talk about precision targeting? You're just going to obliterate the whole place anyway. Like, why are we what's this middle part doing? Because we all know the truth. They know we know the truth. It's not, none of it's working. Also, it's not precision striking. It's genocide. You want to ethnically cleanse and completely rid yourselves of the Palestinian problem, just the way Nazi Germany wanted to rid itself of the Jewish problem, right? And the Lebanese problem and the Iranian problem. The problem is Israel and its subjugation, domination, occupation of Palestinians. That's the problem. It's nothing to do, like, Iran's not a problem in and of itself. It's a problem because it shows solidarity with militant groups that are helping fight for Palestinian liberation. We all know that. So like, all of the other stuff is window dressing, but it doesn't even matter. Nobody believes it. But and you're still going to bomb them anyway without even a pretense of a justification, right? So like, I don't understand why they're putting in so much effort to this middle thing that no longer works when they're still going to do what they want to do anyway. So like, what is the point of all of this? I just don't understand it.
It takes me to like abusive boyfriend shit, right?
Right.
In a way, like
rub your face in it.
Put some hope out. There's still hope. I mean, because you have no power anyway. You're like,
right.
Maybe he's gonna change.
Right.
maybe the Democratic Party is going to change. Maybe they won't be so abusive. Maybe they learn their lesson, that kind of thing. And it just, whatever they say buys enough. It's a delay tactic to us fucking flipping the table over.
But whom are they appealing to? Right? Is it appealing to the few liberals who don't think this is a genocide? Because there aren't many left, in their own party. So what is it for? Is it the browbeating? Because I know we're already getting the browbeating, but it's from the very top people. It's not from the people in the it's the paid pundits.
You're just not allowed to be against Israel.
Right.
At the end of the day, you're just not allowed.
Yeah.
The levers of power control our views if you're in politics on Israel. So yeah, you just can't be against it. So what can you do? You can work around the edges of, it's Netanyahu. It's not actually Israel. It's,
right.
It's not the Iron Dome money. It's the weapon money. At worst, we're finally there with a few politicians. But
well, this is how the proud Zionist of Michigan was greeted by the attendees at the convention.
Michigan Democrats, I'm standing up here with my friends from Unite Here, who have endorsed my campaign for the United States Senate, the working people of Michigan. Look, I'm going to tell you all, I'm a daughter of Michigan. I was the daughter of small business owners. My dad was born right here in the beautiful city of Detroit. And my life's work has been defined by putting up my hand for Michigan in tough moments. That is exactly what I did for Michigan when I served as Chief of Staff on the U.S. Auto Rescue alongside the great men and women of the UAW.
Booed all over the place. They hate her, entirely hate her. We've got a Zio in the chat. Let him or her do whatever the hell. Block away. I don't give a fuck, but you can go fuck off and die, you Nazi piece of shit. And then here's Mallory McMorrow doing her own version of Kamala in the hallway. So she was the progressive favorite before Abdul El Sayed got into the race, and he was not doing as well. He didn't have as much money behind him or as much, familiarity with the public until the political pundits called him out for doing a rally with Hassan Piker, and then he busted into the top 5 of Act Blue donations. But so she is trying to walk this line of being a progressive, but she's kind of for AI and she won't sign on to the price surveillance, kind of bullshit. And so here she is trying her best to appeal to people. Oh my God.
We all have Hillary PTSD, but I have Kamala Harris PTSD from 2020 as well. When at the DNC convention in Long Beach, I think it was, right? Yep. California, I went out and covered it. And Kamala had this exact same thing. She had a drum
with her
thing with
her big captain robe or whatever, right?
And you could hear her coming by the fabricated noise. They were all employees, no actual support. But Bernie would go from room to room because they have breakout rooms with, 200, 300 people in them for a subject, right? That's what they do at these conventions. You could hear him coming from the second floor to the cheering and the authentic.
Right.
And then you see the paid employees with the paid signs printed at Kinko's and
so
everybody got it. Everybody understood this is a fake push for Kamala,
like the AstroTurf in real life.
Yes.
Mayo Pete had that too. Remember, he had some like feel good song that they would all
with the cringe white dancing.
Yeah, and I can't remember. It wasn't the Macarena. That was Al Gore, but it was something like that. Higher. I can feel high. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a reminder, Dems are, they're already pretending to walk away from AIPAC and J Street, even though this is like a backdoor way still to finance Israel and let it pay for its own weapons. They are also being cautioned, as we said earlier, against angering the $300 million AI lobby ahead of U.S. midterms. Democrats planning to run in November's midterm elections have been advised not to antagonize pro-AI campaign groups that have amassed almost $300 million to fight for the industry's priorities. The warnings by top party consultants, corroborated by people close to 4 different campaigns and party strategists speaking on the condition of anonymity. Such brave people come despite internal polling for Democrats showing widespread public support for tougher AI rules. Pro-AI groups backed by some of Silicon Valley's biggest names have already announced they will spend millions of dollars in state and local contests in New York, Illinois, California, and Virginia to back candidates perceived as supportive of the AI industry, which include that, Dario Amodei of Anthropic, who is supposed to be the good AI guy, has a huge slush fund to help people, his, preferred candidates. And they also have been directing their members how to vote on the latest FISA bill. I mean,
look,
these people are not protecting us.
If winning mattered, instead of that advice, the advice should be no amount of AI money you take is going to defeat somebody running against the person taking the AI money, because the public is so against you on AI. Right. So if your opponent takes, if anybody, a PAC spends $1 million on your opponent and they're connected to AI, we're going to highlight that in our $40,000 campaign, and we're going to sync them for that.
Yep. I mean, like every other issue we talk about, it is so clear that people hate AI. They know that in its best case scenario, it is a mass surveillance, mass slaughter, mass job replacement, new invention. Like, they did not have to do the kind of promotion for the cell phone that they have to do for AI. I mean, just think about, like, I get like all the different, Politico, Axios, whatever. Axios, every time I get their morning bulletin stuff, the 5 things you have to pay attention to. AI is always one of them. And it's always like, embrace AI. AI, if you want to get a job in this new world, you're going to have to learn how to deal with AI. The people who are best prepared to be part of this, like, there is so much. I mean, it's like Zionists with anything that is anti-Zionist or pro-Palestine. The amount of money being spent to try to propaganda us all to want something that we know is going to destroy the planet and all of us. And that goes against everything that people want, right?
If you just took this country and you did the math on how much money was spent on each election and voted for the person that didn't get the most money, the country would be so much better.
Yeah.
Just blanket statement, like, look who the most money was spent on. That's the bad guy in almost 99% of the cases. And if you run a campaign based on not taking that money, highlighting the money your opponent took from that segment, that's a winning strategy.
I totally agree. I mean, I think what happens is, and this is the real issue, is money in politics, right? Because how do you get your voice seen? You're going to be outspent by tens of millions of dollars. There are going to be ads everywhere. There are going to be mailers that are lies. They're going to flood the zone. And then if you happen to get some notoriety and some visibility, then they will subdue you with all the lawfare. They will say that you didn't actually get enough signatures for your candidacy, that you didn't, that they're going to reject these votes, like all of it, right? So like
the party has mastered it. They have the people that will come out against you in your local election. They got a list going. If you come out against your candidate in Sacramento, they got 10 people that Sacramento cares about that will be out there saying you're bad for our city. Like it's all cooked in. They have folders of this shit ready to go.
I don't know what you're talking about, Steve, about us. I'm not a Democrat. I voted for Jill Stein. I don't know. I am assuming that you're not talking about us because we absolutely,
because
that doesn't make any sense. I don't think you're talking about us, but I don't know who you're talking about. Anyway, very frustrating because what the people really want, like if there were public financing for candidates, and if there were a ranked choice voting, which is what that's part of the reason that Mamdani was able to win in New York, was because of ranked choice voting and because of public matching funds, But they will do
the process
is
it's pretty much been cooked everywhere, but ranked choice voting, star voting, whatever alternative voting, every one of them is better, which is why the Democratic Party fights against any of these changes anywhere.
Yep.
But if you actually wanted to reform, if you thought reforming the Democratic Party was an option, all these things are the way to do it.
Yeah.
Even if you think just being a Democrat is the way.
That's right.
Because you can't, there's no pressure to change if winning doesn't matter for one, but like you just need somebody outside to push you to change.
Which is why you see something like the Green Party in the UK gaining so much power. They have a parliamentary system where, you can there's so many different smaller parties. It's not just a duopoly. And so even if you don't rise to the absolute top, you can still influence other sections of, the political party. And they are doing everything possible to negate that potential leverage, and obviously, the people that come in, like the pretend squad, don't leverage their power at all, like have done nothing. So because they're aware.
Look, on the national message, the moment they locked out third parties from the national debate, that really sealed the deal that you were going to have two visions for the country, and one could always be just a little bit more fucking humanistic than the other.
Yep.
And that's what we got. So, because if you have a debate with even a third party candidate that has no chance of winning, that third party candidate is going to be popular. So the person closest to them is going to have to adopt sort of their views. It'll be fake,
right?
But you don't even get that now.
Which is why they didn't even have a primary in 2024, because in 2020, do you remember it was like 20 people up on the stage, two of them, Biden and Michael Bloomberg, didn't pretend to be progressive. Everybody else was just as progressive as Bernie, and they all had to pretend. Kamala was like, that's right, get rid of it, get rid of all the insurance, right? And then they called her out on it. She's like, oh no, and then she dropped out. But she at least had to face other policies that are majority popular across the whole political spectrum. And here they do not even they do not want to allow that. They just want to coronate the person, because we don't talk. Did they talk about Medicare for all or the climate or police in 2024? Not even a drop.
No. And without a single person challenging them in front of on TV, they can control the rest of the narrative,
Yep.
That's it. So they're gonna try to do the same thing in the next primaries. It's worked for them. They'll find a reason to suddenly let Mike Bloomberg in because Bernie might win.
That's right. That's the one time I ever donated to Tulsi, I gave her $1 or $2 or whatever it was that they were pleading because they just wanted to get, like, remember they changed the rules and they wouldn't let her onto the stage, but they were going to let Bloomberg on, even though she had more individual donations, and they changed all the rules, whatever. None of it matters until we get money out of politics, and they will not allow us to vote to get money out of politics. So yeah. Okay. Is there anything else we could do? A really quick, just, Republicans being total assholes, but we don't have much more of this, so we have to find something. You might
land
be
right.
I know.
You don't land right.
Why don't you please call an audible so that I can feed Lucky really quickly?
That's fair. I do need to grab a beer, so let's look at some smart cats.
Okay, good.
Unlike my own cat.
Hey man, you wanna fucking stop?
You?
Oh no. Joseph Lamonte DeMarcus Summers, come from underneath that damn. Don't you tuck your ass back in there.
Bang, you're dead. Roll over. Good girl, Stormy. Come here.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering if I can place an order for some food. Maybe some... Yeah, no, I would love some food.
No! What?
Strike, apparently.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Cats.
Woo. I just ran and came back. All right. Hey, guys. I got one question.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Wasn't that like a Charlie Sheen thing with his tiger blood?
Winning. Hashtag winning.
Yeah. What a freak. It was really nice to see, we mentioned that RFK Jr. was in these hearings, and there was a lot of focus on the fact that he looked incredibly unhealthy and was shaking a lot. But what was better was when he was actually, taken to task on the facts. So because of this whole DOGE DEI stuff, they canceled any focus on health policies or investigations into anything that was Black, women. But how are you going to deal with childbirth if you don't talk about women? How are you going to deal with Black maternal deaths during pregnancy, during childbirth, if you don't specify who that is? But like all of that is DEI, according to them. So this is Summer Lee, who is one of, I do like her from what I know of her, grilling RFK Jr. on Black maternal death rate.
Your agency told programs to remove a list of nearly 200 words and phrases from their funding applications, including the word Black. Do you have an idea of how we could solve the Black maternal mortality crisis if we can't say Black?
President Trump is trying to end division in this country, not
division, not eviction.
During the last 4 years, that's what DEI did. It divided people. It polarized people.
No. We're not talking about eviction. We're talking about healthcare.
I'm calling about DEI.
We're talking about healthcare.
Yeah,
disparities. So what we're asking is if you attack DE&I and then we have a crisis that impacts one population over another, but you cannot direct specific spending or research or interventions to that population, how do you solve the problem?
Do you think the federal government should be paying for DEI?
I think the federal government has a vested interest in ensuring that its citizens survive childbirth.
Well, we are meeting that obligation.
We are not.
Oh, that I can explain to you how we are.
You have not done so far. But also I would say that, we can improve healthcare for everybody at the same time as helping the people who are most likely to die. That's what DE&I, well, first of all, DE&I makes sure that we have black doctors, or women doctors, or that we're talking about the fact that we have a mortality rate that is not matched by any other country as what we would call developed as ours. Really quickly, in yesterday's Ways and Means Committee hearing, you denied saying that every black kid is now just a standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere else and get reparented. Why did you deny saying this?
Why did I deny payment?
No, why did you deny that you said that every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known as to induce violence, and that you would rehome them?
Well, it's largely true that black kids, because it's easier to handle people, and a lot of the public.
And you're going to rehome them?
No, I never said that we should rehome them for illegal drugs. Psychiatric.
Gentlelady's time has expired.
Okay, I just wanted to know if that was him for the record. Thank you.
Thank the gentlelady.
I yield back.
Night.
So that extra voice of him that you kind of hear off camera is her playing the recording of him saying that black children have to be reparented. Like insanity, truly. She was great with him, I thought.
They're all fucking dirtbags. He's such a... Everything he's doing makes him the biggest useful idiot in the world if you want to cut social programs for people. Right? That's the purpose of him. And the other thing I'm seeing across the spectrum right now is strikes butthole, mostly. Ow! She did not like that. She did not like that. No, but what I was going to say is we're getting sold this efficiency thing. We already did all the DEI cuts, but the next thing is, well, we don't need the firefighter division. It should be under this other division that can run more efficiently. And they're decimating every social safety net and program that's good for America so overtly in front of us. And nothing has changed. Like nothing is stopping it at all. Like Democrats are not. This is why we can't wait on Democrats to stop this stuff, because these programs aren't going to get rebuilt when the Democrats come into power overnight.
100%. And also, so Philip, just so you know, I don't think either Pat or I is saying that. I think there's a couple different issues. I know this is like a whole separate thing. I don't want to get into a discussion about all the drugs that children are put on at this time. I think that there are a lot of misdiagnoses and a lot of convenient diagnoses that make children easier to control. And also there is an enormous financial incentive because of big pharma. All of that is disgusting, and I am open to all of it being discussed and debated. And I think there are probably a lot of children who are put on ADD and ADHD medications for whom that is probably an improper diagnosis, but it's easier than dealing with some of the underlying issues. But also, that's my opinion, and I just don't know. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know enough about it. I would love to and will do more research on all of this. I have listened to a lot of Gabor Mate's discussions about it, and that all makes sense to me, but I also don't want to negate what's happening for some people who have diagnoses that feel accurate. My issue with the DEI aspect of Black maternal mortality rates being, shunted aside because it deals with two different groups that are considered DEI, women and Black people. To me, that is appalling. And that also happened. So that was what I was focusing in on. But I am not making any, and I also think that the whole reparenting thing is a real problem. I also think overprescription of behavioral drugs is a problem. I will let you say your piece.
I don't have much piece to say on it. I mean, I'm not going to trust I don't love Big Pharma. Big Pharma wants to get their claws in us and get everyone, you know, sell us all kinds of drugs,
Yeah.
But I'm not going to discount the science when there's science, and I look to the science first.
Yeah, me too.
On things, right? So like I had a coworker who had extreme ADHD, and I don't know what his meds were, but I could come in on one day and say he's not on his meds, and no. And he was a very affable person when he was on the meds, and quite normal, and they worked for him. And when he wasn't, he was caffeine, just bouncing off the rails, caffeine, cocaine, whatever, like crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We need to look at all this stuff, but RFK Jr. specifically comes in with just some shit he read online.
Yeah.
From a fucking yoga teacher.
Yep.
And that's the basis of our national policy now, not science.
Yeah, that part of it is the hackery of it, right? The quackery, hack of it. But also, if you are truly trying to do what's best for the majority of people and help them, you talk about a universal single payer healthcare system where people aren't priced out of getting medical treatment. And he never talks about that. You fight truly against all of the poisons in our food, our air, our water, our soil. You talk about the wages that drive people into severe depression, homelessness, that in itself, that feeling of precarity drives people to anxiety and high blood pressure. You address the systemic issues, and you don't just pick and choose. But what he never does is come after the wealthiest capitalist system that thrives off of ensuring the working class is kept in poverty. Right. So
yeah, and his popularity came from sort of fighting chemicals in our soil and water and that kind of stuff. And he milked that to this point. But like beyond that, if you cared about that stuff, you wouldn't deregulate checking that stuff, because the regulation is not. How does the regulation make your argument that it doesn't make sense? It's just it's a logical fact. If the problem is these chemicals in our water, you'd want to regulate more, not dismiss all regulation. If the vaccines are the problem, you would want to regulate them more, not put some non-scientists on the board deciding national vaccines.
Exactly. And you would take the financial incentive out of healthcare. If you want to take care of people, you follow the science, you do the studies, you don't defund the science, right? So yeah. And certainly, the reparenting is eugenics, because sure, I mean, listen, I parent my kids very differently from most people I know. But that is that is my subjective judgment. And he specifically was focused on Black communities. And if you're going to talk about how they parent without also talking about how they are being forced to live in a system that has kept them oppressed and, suppressed for centuries in our country, then you're not actually addressing the problem. I think that all of, Elon Musk's children should be reparented. I think most of Hollywood kids should be reparented. Most of politicians, most people who are the children of wealthy people should be reparented. But I don't think people are listening to me about that. And I think there are bigger systemic issues that if we addressed, you'd have communities that cared about their children. And as much as I hate Hillary, but it takes a village is the best way to parent, is to have communities that look out for each other and have each other's back and feed each other's kids and make sure that the kids aren't getting in trouble, even if they're not your kids. That to me makes me feel comfortable. When I saw some other parent disciplining my kid, like if I turned my head and my kid was doing some stupid thing in the bouncy house and I saw somebody say, I was like, oh, yes, we are being taken care of as a community. That's what you want, right? But that's not what his intention is. He is a white supremacist. That's what he is, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a white supremacist, but he's an elite who has been given permission and power without worth.
Yeah.
And like I said, to me, he is the biggest useful idiot to ever exist for capitalism, because everything he subscribes to is something that can be used to cut a program.
That's all it is. It's the rage or whatever, the rage thing that became Doge, or he is and also, just as a reminder, when he was running, I think still as a Democrat, maybe an independent, RFK Jr. was being interviewed and said that we should model our southern border after the way Israel has its border with Gaza. So,
tells you a lot.
That is, I don't know if that's white supremacy, but it's not great. Okay. I think we've come to the end.
We've said enough.
We've said enough. We have said enough. Is there any other thing that we have not dealt with? I think I'm just going to delete all of our things. Oh, no, actually, this is kind of fun. Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
I love President Trump, and I think he signed this executive order. I don't know who underneath him was putting this thing together, that all federal documents, it has to be your biological sex at birth. Recently, I had my passport. I had to get it renewed. Comes back gender marker M. But it's not just about me, it's about all people in this situation. What do I do?
Never thought I just leave my face. No, I never thought I just leave my face. We bonded over bigotry, but they weren't supposed to turn on me. No, I never thought the lepers would eat my face. Slow it down now. I never thought the lepers would eat my face. No, I never thought it would happen to me. Bonded over bigotry, but they weren't supposed to turn on me. No, I never thought the leopards would eat my face.
Visit shop.francesca.net to get your Leopards Ate My Face merch.
I will never do the thing that liberals love to do of like, oh, Mississippi voted for Trump, and so now they don't get FEMA, right? But like punching up at Caitlyn Jenner, who supported Trump, like, come on. I kind of love that that leopard eat your face song. That's a good one, right?
Yeah, it fit very, very well.
All right. We are going out on a young woman, I think she is Lebanese, Siba, who wrote and is the singer of this song. I think a lot of us have probably seen the shorter clip, but thanks to friend of show, Buddha Activist, we have the full music video of all of these different groups of people coming together to fight for their liberation. So cheers to all of you. Thank you for being part of our Punch Up Pup family. We love you guys. Keep punching up. Cheers.
Cheers.
What is this? I got it.
I love Arabic. I enjoy
استأصلوا جذورنا وهدموا بيوتنا وجرموا وجودنا وزيفوا أصولنا فرقوا أحبابنا وذبحوا أطفالنا واسترخصوا دماءنا وشيطنوا ثوارنا وهدموا بيوتنا وجرموا وجودنا وزيفوا أصولنا فرقوا أحبابنا وذبحوا أطفالنا واسترخصوا دماءنا وشيطنوا ثوارنا اسرقوا علومنا وجهلوا شعوبنا وعذبوا نفوسنا واستنكروا حقوقنا استعمروا بلادنا وعينوا حكامنا وانهبوا خيراتنا واحرقوا أشجارنا فمن تكون دوننا فمن تكون دوننا فمن تكون دوننا فمن تكون أوجاعنا واستصغروا عذابنا تجاهلوا دموعنا أغمضوا عيوننا وجوهوا وجوهنا وانكروا شعورنا دمروا أحلامنا وصنموا أسامنا وأظلموا سماءنا اقتلوا سلامنا سنبقى في مقامنا ويبقى فينا حبنا فمن تكون دوننا ولن تكون دوننا ولن تكون دوننا وهدموا بيوتنا وجرموا وجودنا وزيفوا أصولنا فرقوا أحبابنا وذبحوا أطفالنا واسترخصوا دماءنا وشيطنوا ثوارنا اسرقوا علومنا وجهلوا شعوبنا وعذبوا نفوسنا واستنكروا حقوقنا استعمروا بلادنا وعينوا حكامنا وانهبوا خيراتنا واحرقوا أشجارنا فجروا ديارنا وكذبوا أقوالنا وجاهدوا أوجاعنا واستصغروا عذابنا تجاهلوا دموعنا